In the news tonight, Anambra state government reinstates commitment to partner with church to achieve set goals. Awka Capital Territory Development Authority warns against indiscriminate building of structures. National lawmakers pledge quality representation to accelerate development. I'm a Berry Ugonna. The state deputy governor, Dr. Nkemokeke, says the state will continue to partner the church at all times for the betterment of the society. Dr. Okeke made this known during the opening and dedication of St. Anthony's Catholic Church, Aba, Njikoka local government area built by Chief Emmanuel Anyako. Correspondent Chibuzo Okoye completes the story.
The event, which started with a holy mass officiated by the Catholic Bishop of Awka Diocese, Most Reverend Paulinus Ezokafo, attracted Aba Catholic community, the clergy, and the religious, political office holders, among others. Dr. Okeke asserted that the church plays very strategic role in the society in many dimensions, including moral upbringing and humanitarian services, among numerous others. The state deputy governor assured that the mutual relationship between the church and Governor Willie Obiano's administration will be sustained, and praised Chief Emmanuel Anyako for his various selfless services to the people. Dedicating the church to God, Bishop Ezokafo thanked the benefactor for investing his money in the vineyard of the Lord and urged Christians to use whatever God has given them to work for their own salvation and the collective welfare of the society. In their separate remarks, a business tycoon, Chief Emma Bishop Okonkwo and Chief Cosmos Ogugwa from Aba, described the benefactor as a perfect gentleman who derived joy from giving back to the society. Responding, Chief Emmanuel Anyako, who said he was elected for the actualization of his dream, gave God all the glory for making the day a reality. Chief Anyako explained that it took a lot of perseverance, sacrifice, and denials before he actualized his mission.
Let the promise, kept his promise, he fulfilled his promise.
The secretary to the state government, Professor Solochukwu Lobelu, and the member representing Njikoka 2 constituency in the State House of Assembly, Dr. Pete Ibida, also attended the event. From St. Anthony's Catholic Church, Aba, Njikoka local government area, this is Chibuzo Okoye for ABS News.
The Anambra state government says it will partner with farmers to develop breeding of Igbo species of cows. The Commissioner for Agriculture, Mechanization, Processing and Export, Mr. Nnamdi Onukwuba, disclosed this during his inspection visit to Eagles Farm, Umuchu, where Igbo cows are reared, revealed the state government's interest in making livestock grazing a serious business, most especially the Igbo species of cow known as Efi Igbo. Correspondent Valentine Badua, who was with the commissioner during the tour, completes the report.
Addressing the media shortly after the inspection, Mr. Onukwuba revealed that the state government is already making plans of expanding cattle grazing across the local government areas of the state, and commended the owner of the farm for the initiative, assuring him of government's partnership.
Come here to show the world that actually there is a ranch for Efi Igbo production. That's our local breed of cow. So we are here to see for ourselves and to show the world that this is a doable thing. The state is thinking of partnering with Okpaleke here to develop more farms within the local government areas in Anambra State to produce our own domestic cow.
Contributing, the APGA spiritual leader, Chief Romy Ezonwoka, expressed hope that the issue of destruction of farmland by cattle and other activities of herdsmen, which according to him affect agricultural development, will in a few years become history if efforts are sustained in breeding and grazing what he called Anambra cow.
I saw that place is something commendable that nearest future, the Anambra, not only having Anambra rice, that of fish now is already in vogue. Anambra fish now is there. Anambra Ogo, Anambra Unugu. This time around, we are going to have Anambra cow, so that all this Fulani here will not bring their cow to destroy the people's farm.
Responding, the chairman, Eagle Farm Umuchu, Prince Ugochukwu Obaleke, who expressed satisfaction with the visit of the commissioner, offered to give every necessary assistance to ensure that the dream becomes a reality. He explained that cows can actually be grazed indoor, as his cows have been doing well without stepping out over years.
Raw materials from the farm and compile our feed to feed. The governor has said it. So we have to develop it in so many local governments in Anambra State. We can get some farmers and give them the cow. They develop it. Small time, for highest 3 years to 4 years, 5 years. We start selling to others.
The commissioner later proceeded to Jusam Farm Ufuma, a company that is into public-private partnership business with the state government to boost rice production in the state. The chairman Jusam Farm, Mr. Oliver Okeke, while receiving the commissioner and his entourage, commended Governor Willie Obiano for reviving the agricultural sector of the state, assuring him of contributing towards sustaining the temple. From Ufuma, I am Valentine Mbadowa reporting for ABS News.
Officials of the Awka Capital Territory Development Authority, ACTDA, led by its managing director, Venerable Amechi Okwosa, have visited the construction site of a 3-story building demolished by its owner following the directive of the agency. The demolished structure, located at Ogena Street, Opono, Awka South local government area, was at the roofing stage and was marked for removal after the ACTDA Development Control Team discovered it had major structural defects. Correspondent Daniel Ezigwe was there and now completes the story.
Speaking on the development, the ACTDA boss, Venerable Okwosa, noted that the builder was informed early enough of the structure's defects and why it would not be allowed to stand. He said that it was after the agency insisted that the building must be removed for safety concerns that the owner began its demolition. The ACTDA managing director reaffirmed that the agency remained resolute on keeping with standards, especially as it concerns the erection of structures in the capital city of Awka. Venerable Okwosa warned that builders who flout physical planning rules and regulations will bear full weight of the law.
So, he did what was told to do as he was instructed, and as we all know, my approach is to sensitize the people to do what is right. We only use force as the last resort, and I always tell them, not just him and others, when we order for removal, we give you the first option to do it by yourself, and when you do it, some have complied. Like this particular case here, they've complied, and it saves the government resources and encouraging people to do the right thing.
The owner of the demolished 3-story building, Barrister Chijoke Ozumba, admitted to have been instructed by the agency to remove the building and stated that even though huge losses were incurred, necessary precautions must be taken so as not to endanger lives. He praised the ACTDA boss for adopting transparent measures in the execution of his duties.
It is disheartening, but we have to conform. I use this media to advise every other property owners in the state to conform. Life is precious. Life is worth more than 1 billion. So if we have done this, ordinarily some will engage in legal suit and all that, but we decided to conform. So I thank the new MD, I thank Anambra State government for trying to save life. We believe God in the next building we are doing, we'll conform to standard and make sure we meet everything.
In Awka, Daniel Ezigwe, ABS News.
And away from that, the Catholic Bishop of Awka Diocese, Most Reverend Paulinus Ezokafos, charged Christians not to be in enmity with one another, but to show agape love always. Bishop Ezofo gave the charge in a homily during his pastoral visit to St. Joseph's Catholic Church, Nebo, Awka South Kensal area. Amaka Chibuzokoye has details.
The Catholic prelate, who stressed the importance of investing in God's vineyard and its reward, stated that it is expected of every Christian to keep the law, be humble, and show love to one another as Christ entrusted on them. Bishop Ezokafo, during the visit, administered the sacrament of confirmation on 28 candidates and urged them to live according to the faith and teachings of the church.
And he gave his life and showed us love by dying on the cross. And the gospel tells us about the neighbor, the Samaritan who was taken care of, the man wounded by the robbers who was taken care of by, in other words, what in their own time would be called his or her greatest enemy. But he did not mind all those. He showed love to him, and so we need to show this love in everything.
The parish priest, Reverend Father Paulus Maria Okafor, said the bishop's pastoral visit to the church will attract more grace to the parishioners.
Well, my message to my parishioners would be for them to rejoice with the grace of God that they have received today through the bishop and the celebration of the Holy Eucharist. And secondly, they should also buckle up their faith, knowing that we have a destination.
From Nibo, Amaka Chibuzo Okoye, ABS News.
Minority Leader in the House of Representatives, Honorable Ndudi Elumelu, has reassured Nigerians of quality representation. Honorable Elumelu was speaking during a Thanksgiving service of the member representing Onitsha North and South Federal Constituency, Honorable Linda Chuba Ikbazu, of the Auxilius Church Onitsha. Correspondent Gini Osadebe completes the story.
Honorable Elumelu, who represented the House Speaker, Right Honorable Oluwafemi Gbadabemila, restated the determination of the 9th Assembly to enact good laws that will touch the lives of the southeastern states, strengthen the traditional institution to help fight insurgents, while thanking all the states in the southeast zone for their support. He commended the sterling quality and outstanding performance of Honorable Linda Chuba Ikbazu at the House.
We have distinguished ourselves. The success that we have recorded in the House is as a result of our tenacity, humility, empathic nature, and resilient spirit.
In their separate reactions during a reception after the church service, some members of the House of Representatives, including Honorable Okudulu Ezewankwo of Orumba North and South Federal Constituency, Honorable Chukwudi Umoji of Agwata Federal Constituency, and Honorable Nnolem Nnaji of Nkanu East and West Federal Constituency, Enugu State, said they were attracted to the Thanksgiving service because of the cordial relationship that exists among members of the House of Representatives from the Southeast Zone. They attributed the cordiality to Honorable Linda's ability to coordinate them in the House and thank God for blessing her with wisdom while pledging their support in ensuring that Southeast states attained their rightful position in the nation's polity. Earlier in his sermon during the church service, the General Overseer, Our Saviour's Church, Elder Onyechi Ikbazu San, whose sermon dwelt extensively on the teachings of Christ, on loving one another as Christ loved the church, charged the congregation to always appreciate Jesus Christ's commandment of loving their neighbors, noting that non-expression of one's love pushes a lot of people into depression. He also stressed the need for Christians to have forgiving spirit and always listen to the gospel of righteousness, repentance, and holiness. The General Overseer applauded Honorable Linda Ikbazu for deeming it necessary to thank God for his benevolence upon her life. In her speech during the Thanksgiving service, Honorable Linda Ikbazu said she came to celebrate God's faithfulness in her life, adding that the will of God must always be fulfilled in one's life.
So we thank God for her. She's a very, very upright person, very courageous.
So I thank everybody that God uses. Where's the people? Even like they go to get them. Only now you're squeezing. Don't give up hope. Just so they not later and don't be.
The Thanksgiving service attracted various political stalwarts within and outside the state, members of Abalanze Cultural Association, Ndi Ichie Onitsha, Ikporo Onitsha, among others. From Onitsha, Gini Osadebe, ABS News.
Well, in recent times, there have been increasing discussions on finding solutions to address the countless challenges of Africa's continuous underdevelopment or stagnant economic growth. At the second ongoing International Conference of Unizik Business School in Awka, finding those applicable, innovative, and peculiar solutions continued, where scholars, investors, capital market experts, and policymakers are seeking changes to Africa's numerous challenges. Correspondent David Okwasile, who was at the conference, tells us more.
The conference pillared on the theme Re-engineering Africa's Economies for Sustainable Development seeks to find solutions to businesses in Africa, identify and set agenda for peculiar comparative advantages of the African continent. Setting the tone of the discourse was the Dean of the foremost Lagos Business School, Professor Enase Okonedo, who described some economic statistics as disguising the facts of Africa's retarded development. She therefore advocated a total change of the educational systems in Africa, and Nigeria in particular, where rote learning has been the order, for a system that encourages critical and value-based thinking as a way to meet the market needs.
No way in which we can be innovative. There is no way we can think about re-engineering the economies if we do not acquire those digital and STEM skills. This is what it is that we need. The science, the tech, the engineering, the math, all of those there. Lastly, I want to talk about value-based education. When we talk about re-engineering economies, it's okay for us to focus on the big things: infrastructure, education, healthcare, unemployment, and things like that. But I think that the bane of most African countries is a problem of leadership.
Following the discourse, the former Director General of the Standard Organization of Nigeria, SON, and Senior Research Fellow at Unizik Business School, Dr. Ikem Odumodu, raised concerns over the new African Free Trade Agreement, stressing that there must be proactive steps towards addressing the manufacturing sector to protect Africa from becoming a dumping ground with the Borderless Pact.
We must be able to get the global consumer to also buy products we make here by instilling in them the integrity that makes consumers to buy again and again. We must also, by so doing, defend our local industries from the domination of good foreign products over our local fledgling brands.
Earlier in the various remarks, the Vice Chancellor, Nnamdi Azikiwe University Oka, Professor Charles Esimone, the Director, Unizik Business School, Professor A.U. Nonyelo, the Chairman on the occasion, Igwen Naimeka Achebe, represented by a former Principal Secretary to the Anambra State Government, Professor Emeni Kobi, bemoaned the situation where Nigeria continues to import refined products from crude oil and called for clear reforms in policymaking, regulation, and judiciary.
Of Unizik Business School deserves commendation for its unrelenting drive in pushing academic discourses on economic issues of particular interest to Africa and Nigeria, for which purpose it has put forth two platforms: the Dr. Emmanuel Eboga UN Budget Roundtable, and then this international conference.
Significantly at the conference, industrialists who have built businesses despite the unencouraging business climate in Nigeria received different awards of recognition, including Dr. Clem Mwobo, who received the Business Entrepreneur of the Year award through his Chief Finance Officer, Mr. K. Okonkwo. From Nnamdi Azikiwe University Oka, I am David Obokwase reporting for ABS News.
In line with the state government's directive, the Anambra Traffic Management Agency, ATMA, has carried out physical head count of its officers aimed at fishing out ghost workers. The exercise, which attracted men of the agency from across the state to their headquarters in Oka, is in line with the ongoing biometric verification of state civil servants. Correspondent Emmanuel Okonkwo tells us more.
Addressing the officers, the Commissioner for Transport, Sir Uchenna Okafor, represented by the Permanent Secretary, Mr. Daniel Ezangu, advised them to be united, respect their superiors, and cooperate with the new managing director in order to achieve the state vision in traffic-related issues.
Ifunanya Gabo Nkegene Dunu. Don't see yourself as when our last. See yourself as the Guinea best.
Contributing, the state head of service, Barrister Harry Odo, represented by Director, Public Service Office, Mr. Adebayo Ojeyinka, described the physical headcount exercise as necessary, stating that it will enable the agency and the state government to identify ghost workers and unserious officers among them.
The environment is for them to be professional. Very professional.
Addressing the officers at the parade ground, the Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer of the Anambra Traffic Management Agency, Mr. Pat Obiefuna, charged them to always be on top of their game as traffic managers and shun acts that can portray the agency in bad light. So according to him, the agency will not take it lightly with anyone who fails to comply with its rules and regulations. Mr. Obiefna also warned the officers against bribery and unnecessary contravening of vehicles, reminding them that their major responsibility is to ensure free flow of traffic on state roads.
It's a gradual thing. My plan is to turn ATMA around, turn them round so that they will be an agency to be reckoned with.
In a remark, the Senior Special Assistant to the Governor on Transport, Mr. Joseph Mwabueze, encouraged the officers to maintain discipline and stick to professionalism. The State Commandant of the Anambra Traffic Management Agency, Mr. Chedi Umezingwa, while commending the new MD on the transformation already recorded, assured him of the officers and collaboration for greater achievements. From the Anambra Traffic Management Agency's headquarters in Oka, I am Emmanuel Okonkwo, reporting for ABS News.
And that's the news tonight. But remember that you can follow news and programs on ABS from any parts of the world by liking our Facebook page at ABS Radio Television. Subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/ABS Radio TV Online. You can follow us on Twitter and Instagram at ABS Radio TV. You can also log on to our website, www.absradiotv.com. And just before we go tonight, a quick reminder of our top stories. The Anambra State Government has reinstated commitment to partnership with church to achieve set goals. Awka Capital Territory Development Authority has warned against indiscriminate building of structures. National lawmakers have pledged quality representation to accelerate development. And that's the size of our package tonight. Many thanks for joining the bulletin. I'm Ebere Ugunna.